is a hands-on session. We don't have too many slides to show. Mostly just guide you guys step by step how to launch a VM. Okay. For those who haven't yet who didn't attend my first workshop or session, just briefly introduce myself and my colleagues. My name is Ermin Pei. Me and my coworkers, we are from the Research Computing Group, IST. We also work for Compute Canada. We are based at the UA and work for the National Computing Systems. Camille is leading the scheduling national team, and Chris Swant is he's a member of different national teams, and me myself is in the cloud national team. Yeah. Okay. The outline for today is as the slide shows. First, we are going to launch a VM on Ubuntu that is OpenStack based. And then we will learn how to do the configurations like flavors, images, network security rules, volumes, snapshots, etc. Yeah, even something like floating IPs. And then if we get time, we can also try to launch a VM on AWS. Yeah. Okay. Before we put our hands on the cloud, I just want to clarify a few terminologies that would be a bit confusing if it's the first time you just say them, like instance. Instance can be exchangeable to VM or virtual machine, or sometimes we call it a server or a node. Tenant, in OpenStack, we sometimes call a project a tenant. In the project, there could be one or more VMs or instances there by one person or multiple people. And flavor, sometimes in different cloud, it's called instance type, just different type of instance. Note that here the flavor is different from what we traditionally call the OS flavors. It's a little bit different. Here the flavor means what kind of a resource we have. Hypervisor, that basically equals to physical host that your VMs reside. And the floating IP, it's you can think it as a public IP, but it's not has to be. It doesn't have to be public. It just if it's routable, it's okay. Just means it can be accessed from outside world. Yeah. Okay. There's another complicated issue or point that sometimes for new users, new cloud users to understand what is a key pair. So here, I just want to illustrate how it works before, because soon you will need a key pair to access your cloud. I think I'd better just clarify it ahead, so you can get more clear about how it works. Basically, nowadays we just use a symmetric key pair infrastructure to do authentication. Here you can see in this picture, there's one called a private key, and the other is called a public key. Private key, the two are paired. So a user keeps his or her own private key and give his or her public key to others. So how can we authenticate this user? It works like this way. For example, if a person called Alice, she just say, I want to talk to some people or the cloud, let's see, resources, a VM, or or to fetch some data. But how can we know this is a real Alice? First, Alice sends her public key to the cloud. And then if later she wants to access the resource from a cloud, she just for example, just create to cloud, say, okay, hello cloud, but this is signed by she needs to sign her message with her private key, and then in between the message will be encrypted, so it's not a plain text, just like this kind of code like that. So at the cloud end, we will use the public key to decrypt the message. Then we see, okay, this is Alice's message. Okay, fine. Then Alice is authenticated. She can do more on the cloud. She can access her VM or some other resources. Yeah, this is how it works. So maybe it's a little bit complex for new users, but don't worry too much. Just get you a very simple concept that we use a key pair to do authentication, and you need to create a key pair that includes a private key and a public key, and the public key will be sent to the cloud. Okay. So next, we will do the hands-on stuff. There could be so many steps, like install a SSH client, as I sent you the email yesterday. And then in the OpenStack dashboard, I walk you through how to do it step by step to launch VM, and also use the key pair and allocate floating IP and then associate to a VM. And sorry, there's a typo. This should be create and attach a volume and connect to the VM via SSH, and also set up some security rules. Yeah. And I will show you also some other operations, like create a snapshot, suspend, resume, shut down, or restart a VM. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's move forward and come back on this slide later. Okay. By the way, how many people have added their names to the guest account? Let's see. If you haven't, please just use this link. So I'm going to stop my share screen and type the hyperlink here. If you want to get a guest account, please just add your name to it. Then later you can use this guest account to access the cloud. Today we will be using the Abutus cloud, as I introduced in the first session. There are 4-ish clouds in the Complete Canada system. Abutus is the biggest one. So we set up 50-ish guest accounts for you. So just choose a unique one for you, for yourself. Okay. Then next I'll be sharing my screen to access the Abutus cloud. Before that, there's a link. So this is the Abutus cloud hyperlink. So you can click on it to see the entry point. Okay, let me show my screen too. Where it is. Okay. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Good, thanks. Okay. I can also see if, by the way, I should have introduced how to use the Zoom client and how to interact with me. Yeah, I'm not so, I myself not so familiar with this tool. Okay. There are some buttons for audience. You can see yes, no, go faster, go slower, or even stop. If
That's in the participants panel.
oh, thank you, participants. Yeah.
Ermin, can I ask you a quick question, more general?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So you showed the commercial clouds, Google, Azure, and AWS. So how similar is the stuff how similar are these Compute Canada clouds to those in terms of, you know, how to operate them, the environment, how you work in them? Is there any similarities, or how similar are they or not?
For sure. Indeed, they are the same in nature. If we are talking about mostly talking about IaaS, infrastructure as a service, mostly, you know, if you have operated the two for a while, you will see, okay, basically it's the same, just different graphical user interface. Sometimes they use different terminologies, but basically just the same in nature. You just get an account, then launch your VM, then operate the VM, get different quota of resources like CPU, vCPU, memory, storage, volume, security rule, how to access it, just like you set up a firewall like that. Yeah, basically that's the same in nature. But I have to admit that commercial clouds, they have more mature services developed there, and but our advantage over them is that we have more people to support researchers, because researchers have tons of different questions, issues when operating their own VMs. So yeah, that's our advantage. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
So I'd like to add, so it depends what you mean by cloud, because for instance, people say Google Gmail is cloud, right? And those are services, and the commercial cloud has more developed higher level services.
Yeah, I was speaking specifically of AWS, Google Cloud, and the Azure clouds. So I think Herming answered the question good.
Good, thanks. Yeah. So now, yeah, that's very good. If you get any questions anytime, just stop me, just ask me. Yeah, you're very welcome to raise your question. Okay, where are we? So now we are at the entry point of the Abutus Cloud. If you have chosen your account, guest account, the password, Chris, can I share it via the dialogue, or we just do it just by mouth?
I put it into the chat.
Yeah.
Hmm?
So
Chat?
Bigfoot.369 all lowercase. Bigfoot.369 all lowercase.
It's in the chat.
It's in the chat too. So yeah.
Okay. How can I see my chat dialogue?
So along the bottom of your screen, there is the chat diagram.
No,
there
when
is a
I'm,
bar for Zoom.
Okay, when I'm presenting, it's different. So I have to find out. Okay, here, yeah. Good, everybody gets it? Okay, now we can click on sign in to get into the dashboard. We call it dashboard. Just a web-based graphical interface. Yeah. So if any questions, any issues, just please just maybe use the no mark, rather no mark, just yeah, button, just let us know. Otherwise, please just click on yes, so we will know everybody is okay for this. Good. I see 4 people clicked, 5 people clicked yes. I can give 1 minute to let everybody enter into Abutus.
Yeah, click yes after you've logged in.
Then, thanks. Yeah. Just click on the yes button, please.
It should be in the participants tab. If you don't see the participants tab, go to the bottom of your Zoom window and there should be icons. One of them should say participants. Click that. And that will give you the participants tab. And at the bottom of the participants tab, there is yes, no, go slower, go faster buttons.
Okay, let's see. Mojotaba, I don't see you click on yes. And Tony Jun. And
Yeah, they said yes in the chat window though.
oh,
So I think we're good.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. Okay, now we can get started to see how to launch a VM. Okay, before that, I would like to just give a very brief introduction about the dashboard. So, Zoom always block my screen. Okay. Okay, from the top left, we can see right to the Abutus logo. we can see there's a project name called dev-training-cloud bootcamp. This is the project for us for the training, for the cloud training. So nearly 50 guest accounts share this project. We have some quotas on this project, like 400 vCPUs and certain amount of RAM memory and like a 10 terabyte volume storage volumes or storage space. So it should be enough for our training. Yeah, and top right we can see that's your account name, and if you click on the arrow, you can see some options. We will be using them, some of them later. And to the left frame again, if you click on the project, or if it's already expanded, if you click on the compute button, you will see overview instance. By the way, is it a full screen at your end? Can you guys see the full screen, or I haven't made it the full screen? Is it okay?
Yeah, we can see it.
You can see it. Okay, good. Yeah, you can see such buttons like instance and images. Instance just show you your instance if it's launched, and the images shows you what kind of images you will have to create an instance, like CentOS, like a Debian, like a Fedora, like a Ubuntu, like even Windows. But here you don't see it because Windows it's not is not public. If you really want it, we can make it visible for you. Just yeah, you only see a short list of images. Doesn't mean we only have so many of them. We have way more than those in the list. Just sometimes we don't make it public because that's for different people have different needs. Yeah. If you have some special needs, just ask us. Maybe we can find the one for suitable for you. And then a key pair. As I just introduced, later you will need to create a key pair to access your VM or the cloud resources. And server group, it's a more advanced option. So it means you need if you want your VMs to be in one node, one hypervisor or physical host, or you want it to be scattered into different physical hosts, you use this option. Next, volumes. Volumes basically means just a storage space for your VM. It's an extra storage space other than the one you get when you create a VM. That one we call it ephemeral disk. Volumes is mostly just persistent. We have a specific storage management system to manage it. It's called a SAF, as I introduced in the first session. Later, you will be guided to create a volume, then attach to the virtual machine you created. And snapshots means you want to, if sometimes you want to make a backup of your VM and your data, your volumes, you can create a snapshot so you can use it later. It's very good for backup stuff. Group and the group snapshots, those are also advanced options. Basically, it's for the consistency for multiple volumes. So you may not want to try it out today. Network. Yeah. For VM to be accessed from outside world, you have to make it connect to the network. And from the first option in network is the topology. So you can see you get, in default, you get a public network, then a router in between, then it's the project network or private network for you for this project. Then you will see a bunch of VMs attached to it. Now you only see one because that's mine. That's my test one. Yeah. Later, if we all create our own VMs, you will see a bunch of them just attached to this private network. Then use the router to connect to the public network. So next networks, you can see the IP address, the internal IP address, and then even external one. And the routers, you will have one router. It's the name is created by the system automatically. Security group is another important concept. In this option, you need to create your security rules. We have one default one for you, but that's basically is a very basic function. If you have some, for example, if you want your web service to be accessed from a certain host from your laptop, desktop, you need to create a security rule to expose the port to a certain machine or the whole public outside world. Yeah. Okay. Floating IPs, as I said, floating IPs, you can think it as a public IP here, because here we don't use some other IP ranges, just the public ones. Okay. Then orchestration, this will be a topic for my third session. Then a share, it's for the backend file system, CFS. I also introduced it in the first session. This is a file system, sorry, shared by different VMs, even from different projects. Yeah, to manage the shares. This is a very new function that's just enabled by our Cloud National team recently. And then identity. Identity, if you click on the project button, you will see our project name, description, project ID. We will be using the project ID later, and domain name. And then users, you see you will see your user account name and the user ID. Yeah. Keep in mind your username will be using it soon. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I just went through the dashboard quickly for you before we launch a VM. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I forgot to see the overview thing. The overview interface shows you basically the usage of your account. Oh, here maybe not just account, maybe this is for the whole project. Yeah, how many resources are used, like volumes, like vCPUs, like instance RAM, security rules, network ports, routers. Yeah, you can also specify a certain period, certain dates. Yeah, to show the specific usage. Okay, now we are ready to launch your VM. please click on the instances button. And then you can click on the launch instance button. And in this dialog, you can see there are quite a few options. First one is called details. You can give a name to your VM that is to be created. Basically, you can name it as just anything as you want. But sometimes it's good. It'd be good to make it, make a convention to it, like mostly if you have multiple VMs, you want to differentiate them. So we suggest you just name it with first a project name. For example, here we can say Bootcamp. Then give another just a field. Just say, okay, my test one. And also you can give a number here. I already created a one. I can call this one the number 2. Okay, you can give a description if you want. And then availability zone, you can select one, like if it's a compute category or resource or needs, you select the computer one, because this means the VM will be created on a computer resource. Those with a better CPU resource, more powerful CPUs, and maybe more memory. Just depends. And if if it's a web service or database like that, you can select a persistent one. It will be persistent, won't be cleaned up in 1 month, just like the computer one. So those are the key difference. Or if you're lazy, just want to test it, you can just choose any availability zone. Yeah. Okay, here we just leave it as is. And how many VMs you want to create? Mostly just put 1, unless you want to create a cluster. That's an advanced topic. Okay. So to the right, you can see the quota. Here we get in total we get 100 max, so we get enough. So just feel free to create yours. Okay, next is the source button. Just to choose which source you want to launch your VM. The most common one is image. We just choose the image one, and then select one image for yourself. If you like CentOS, just like me, CentOS is my favorite OS. I just choose one, then use the up arrow, just click on it, then it will show up here. You can choose some other images like Ubuntu, like Fedora, etc. Yeah. Here it shows. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question here. So for the purpose of this practice, can we choose any of those, or we need to choose the you select?
No, you can choose anything you want.
Okay, for this camp.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Later, I'll let you know how to access them with a different account username, because different images you have to use a different username or account to access them. Okay. Yeah, here you can see the. Sorry, any more questions so far? No. Okay. Good. Yeah. After you select the image, you will see the size and type and visibility, whatever. There's some details, and here right to the select boot source button, you can see an option to create a new volume, yes or no. This means if you want your VM to be stored automatically on the backend storage system, so you won't lose it. So when you just terminate it, you can click on yes. Otherwise, if you think just a test one, you won't keep it later. You just select no. Yeah. By the way, there are many options in each step. To make it simple for cloud beginners, I may not cover most of them. I just want to show the simplest one, the steps options first. Later, if you are interested, I can show. We can go through the more complex ones. So, because I like to do it in a iterating model instead of overwhelming model. Okay, next, flavors. Flavors, as I said, it's different from what we traditionally call the OS flavors. This is mostly for the type of resource combinations, just like what kind of vCPU, how many vCPU, how big the RAM, how much disk space, etc. Mostly this is 3 or 4 combinations. We call it a flavor. So here we can see, because maybe I created the whole project persistent one. So you only see P flavors. P stands for persistent. If you are created a compute project, you will see C flavors, C1 something something, yeah, or C2, C4, yeah. Because in the third session, I will be demonstrating how to set up a web service with OpenStack Heat. So that one we need a persistent project. So that's why I created it here for just for people attending the third session. Okay, whatever. Here, if you want to see some specific ones, you can use a filter here, similar to this, like in the image session, you can also do this. Just use like a P1, you can see P16, P116, P1 and P1, P16, or P2, just P2, 3 GB. Yeah, you can use the filter, it's very convenient. Okay. Here we choose one. Basically, we can choose the one with the least resource, because it's just a test VM. Okay, we click on the up arrow, it will show up. Everybody has done that? I guess so. Okay, next, networks. I believe in default it's already chosen for you. So because there's only one private network. This network means a private network with mostly with a 192.168 something something. Yeah, this is just an internal one. It won't be accessed from no, it won't be accessible from outside. Yeah, this is for internal connection to the cloud infrastructure. So yeah, it's automatically selected for you. So you don't have to worry about this then. And network ports, yeah, you don't have to worry about this later. This is just an option for different connection to your VM. Security group, okay. There's a default one. It should be there already for you. You can create your own later. Or if you have already some, you can just choose them. Just like I created one called SSH security rule. I can edit this to it. So now we can see 2 are there allocated. Yeah, we will talk about this later. Yeah, this is a very important one. Yeah, and the key pair. Okay, this may be the most complex thing for a beginner, cloud beginner to create a VM. Yeah. No, I just try to guide you how to do it with 2 options. First is called create a key pair. Another, the other one is called import a key pair. Let's click on the create key pair button. Here we can give it a name. Again, you can give it anything as you want, any name, but it'll be beneficial if you have a convention again. According to my experience, because I access my VMs created on different clouds from different machines, different desktop, laptop, different terminals. So sometimes it's confusing because I forgot which one I should use, which KPI I should use. In this case, you'd better give a name by the client end or the terminal where you are accessing. Like my laptop is called a MacBook Pro. I have one more laptop, so the other one is just a MacBook or something. So this one I call a MacBook Pro. Yeah, let's say just key. This way, in future, you can easily identify, okay, which KPI I should use. Yeah, some people can give it like I don't know, maybe even home address, no, home number maybe, or your office, maybe office kind of thing. If you this is at office, yeah. Just for your convenience to identify them. Yeah. Key type, we select SSH key, which is the common use case. You can also see the other one called X509 certificate. This is using a more complex authentication mechanism. Yeah. So selecting SSH key, then we can create a key pair. Click on the key pair, create a key pair button. Now you can see your private key shows up in the dialog. Now, this is a very important step. You need to copy the private key and save it somewhere for using later. Don't forget this step, otherwise you won't access your VM later. Okay, you can either just use select or just click on the button called copy private key to clipboard. Yeah, I click on it. Okay, it's selected and copied for me. And here, before you close this dialog, I strongly recommend you just make the file of this private key. Otherwise, it's sometimes you get you will be you will forgot sorry, you will forget it, or your clipboard in the memory will be you will copy something else, then flush this power key. You won't get it back anymore. Okay, so here you can open your terminal. If everybody has known how to open a terminal, if I don't know if there's anybody who hasn't yet known how to open a terminal, please just raise your hand or just show me. Maybe my coworkers can help.
Just unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah. Okay. So here, maybe I can show you my terminal. I'm still getting used to Zoom.
Yes. By the way, here, Irving is showing you his private key. If somebody copied that private key, they could pretend to and log into this cloud.
Yeah, yeah, right. But this is just a guest account, and I trust you guys. Okay,
Yeah.
let me share my screen, terminal. Okay, if you have seen it, okay. Here we just use a kind of a editor. I'm a VI guy because I like VI. Some people like Emacs, like Chris or Camille, and some people use Nano. Maybe Nano is the simplest one, but it may not be simplest for me. Let me copy paste my private key, then how to get out from it.
Also mention that, you know, if you're just writing this stuff to a file, you can use Notepad even on Windows if you have a text editor.
Oh, you're right.
that,
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need a terminal to use a text editor.
Yeah.
Don't
Right.
use Microsoft Word though. That's the wrong choice for.
Yeah. There could be many invisible characters in produced by
sure,
the
yeah.
Word.
But
thing,
something
yeah.
like Notepad is just fine,
Yeah.
or Sublime Text or whatever it is that you like to use.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see how to get out from Nano because I'm not so familiar with it. Maybe Control O to a file. Let's see. Give it a name like guest 150.key. Okay. And then I get out. Then let's see. Guest 150 key. Yeah, it's here. Mostly you need to make it visible only to yourself, the prior key. This is just like the key for your house. You don't want to show to others, only you yourself or your family members. So I changed the mode of permission to 400. That means only me myself can read it. I don't even want to write it because if you were spoiled. Okay. Yeah, maybe I don't know. In the HPC shell session, my colleague Chris has already introduced this one, or John.
Yeah,
So John, yes.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, John. Yeah. Okay.
So if you do an ls of the guest.key, guest150.key, you should be able to see that here there's an R. So the first three components there are the owner of the file, and the owner of the file is Irving here. The next one is group and other. So there should be nothing there. So other people should not be able to see or read it.
Right.
You want this to be secret. Because if somebody else can get this key from you, then they could pretend to be you.
Right.
Out of curiosity, I don't know how any of this stuff works on Windows, the permissions, whether you can Shimoda file or not, but
I think you can right click on the button, then there's such thing called properties. Then you can select read only something, right? If I, because my Windows experience is maybe 10 or 15 years ago, yeah.
Yes, Windows allows you to do this. I think it's called an access control list for Windows.
Okay. Yeah, by the way, I, at least myself, is not very familiar with Windows. So sorry if you find that this course is more Linux way or macOS way, yeah. But we'll try our best to help you, because my other coworkers, they may be more familiar with Windows than I do, yeah. Okay. Where are we? Okay, we just saved the key to a place. Please remember it. It's for me, it's in the /user/admin pay. Okay, later I will use it. We have to find it and use it. Okay. Now I'm coming back to the dashboard. Stop sharing the terminal, and then re-share the.
Hi, Armin. I just have a quick question.
Go ahead,
So what
please.
type of the file are supposed to be? It's a text file, or I mean the extension of the file? Yeah.
Oh,
I lost
extension,
my
you can
example.
make it you know, just text or whatever you think it's readable for you. It's it can be identified for you yourself. Yeah, it doesn't matter what kind of which kind of extension.
Okay, so but it has to be a separate file containing only the private key without any other things. Is that correct?
Right, you don't put any other stuff here. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Okay, I try to show the dashboard again. Okay, now we're safe to close this dialog. Okay. By the way, I should make it a constant. I should name the thing called the key to the identifier to with the key name, key pair name. That's easier for me to find it later. Okay, let me do it just here. Over just guest 150 key to MacBook Pro .priv. Okay, I can show you what I did secretly. Here, I just want to make as little as confusion. Okay, here, chat. I just renamed my my key to MacBook Pro .priv. Means this is in the key pair of MacBook Pro, and it's a private key. Okay. Now it's automatically show up for you. So means you will be using this key pair to access the VM later. Okay, next. Configuration, you don't worry about this for now, and neither server groups. Scheduler hints and metadata, you don't have to worry about them. Something like metadata is just to try to tag resources. If you have multiple resources, you can easily to group them. Yeah. Okay, whatever. Now let's launch the instance. But remember, those important steps for beginners are details, source, flavors, networks, security groups, key pair. That's it. Then we click on launch the instance button. It should show up soon. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. I thought I produced so many. It's not just me. So I only see 3 new VMs created. How about rest of you? Are you guys trying it? Or any issues? Let us know if there's any difficulty in creating a VM.
I got 7 items.
7?
Yeah, on my browser.
After you have to reload the screen erming, then you see a whole bunch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I see about 15 or so booting up after I
Oh.
hit refresh.
I have an error.
Okay.
Yeah, I did too. So the error says failure to perform requested operation. Instant bootcamp Latina 1. Instant has an error. Please try again. No host was found. Not enough hosts available. So the error means there's not enough there's not enough virtual resources available.
Which availability zone you guys selected? Better select persistent 01 or 02, because if it falls on compute, it's because the resource type is different, you will see an error. Yeah, sorry, I should have told about those. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I see one error is.
Yeah, that's me.
And more some other VMs are the same way. Yeah. At least 3 people get errors. They are on the computer one. So you can remove the one with the error, then create a new one. Because sometimes if you get a quota or limit, you can only set up a certain amount of VMs. Okay. Yeah, we can see that the ones on persistent resources are all running. I can wait for a few minutes for you guys who get the errors. Just relaunch the VM. At the same time, any questions, any comments? Is it going too fast or too slow? Mine does not show a key. Which one? Which VM? Gonzalo. Guest 152 doesn't show a key. Oh, have you created a key? A key pair? You create one. Maybe you can just unmute and talk to me.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I attached the key and it seems I didn't attach it properly. So how can I give the instance a key? Can I do it now? Or I have to build it again.
So you have created key pair. Then you want to use it on a VM, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you click on your VM on the list, you can see it's already there, shows that the key pair will be used is something. Let me show you the example. Where's mine? Maybe this one is mine. No, keep here. Also keep. It doesn't show here. Should show here. Oh, key name. See here?
Yeah,
Do you see it?
yeah, I see.
Good.
Yeah, but in mine says none, but I have a keeper. So
Oh.
how do I assign this keeper to my VM?
It should be done automatically. If not, that's this thing is very tricky, because if you didn't create one or something wrong, it doesn't show up. It's hard to do it later. You may have to relaunch your VM.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Just to make sure that what you created just show up in the allocated what's that field.
all right.
Okay.
Let me.
Okay. Okay, now I only see only one with arrow.
Yeah, I create that again, but I cannot. I don't know what's happening.
Because in the availability zone, in the first option of the maybe details option, you have to select the one of the persistent availability zone.
Can
Now
I share my
you're,
screen? Can I share my screen?
yeah, you can share for sure.
So this is what I.
Mhm.
Sorry. Um, this is what I have. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. So if I do an edit instance, right? Or I need to do something else.
Now it's too late. I mean, when you are creating, you have to select the right availability zone. So now you can just delete this one, or you can do it later. Because okay, delete now.
Can I delete
Yeah.
this one?
Yeah,
Okay.
right. Then you relaunch it. Relaunch another one. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I'll just
Can I do
mention
can I do that
go ahead.
here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I will.
I'll just mention that I've made this mistake
Yeah, not a
many times
computer. It
myself.
should be persistent.
persistent.
Yeah. This is
Okay.
just because I created this project as a persistent project.
Okay, I think that was my mistake.
That's okay. Yeah, this is a good chance for me to clarify this confusion, because don't think the persistent is the only option you can select. If you have to identify which type of a project you will have. If it's a computer one, the better select the computer option. If a persistent one, like a web service, like a database, you have to select the persistent one. Yeah, it's sorry, our system is not so smart yet to just do it automatically for you. Yeah,
No, that's okay. That was my mistake. Thank you so much. I think
that's okay.
that
Don't worry.
it's gonna run soon. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? If not, why I still don't? Oh, I need to refresh it. Okay, I can see now all the VMs created running. That means in good status, good state. Okay. Now you can try to do some operations with your VM like mine. Let me see what's mine here. If you click on the drop-down button to the create snapshot one at the right-hand side, you can see there are quite a few options.
Sorry, Pei,
go
I
ahead.
think you need to share your screen because we cannot see it. I share
Oh,
mine,
really?
so I delete yours.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Yeah, thanks. Now good?
Correct.
Good. Okay. At the right hand, far right side, you can see that there's a create a snapshot option, and then there's a arrow, down arrow. You can click on the arrow. You will see a drop-down menu. There are quite a few options to just to operate VM. You can just, for example, here, one very important thing is to associate public IP or floating IP. Then you can access it. Otherwise, it's not accessible. You click on the associate floating IP option. It says no floating IP address allocated. So you have to allocate yourself one floating IP. So just click on the plus button. It's loading. The pool, it says public network, means it will select one public IP from the public network. Don't worry about the rest options like description, DNS, name and domain. Just allocate IP by click on this button. Yeah. Here we go. Now we can see that there's an IP allocated for me. And in the port to be associated, this means the port here means a VM, because this connect to different ports for different VMs. So your VM will be automatically selected if you only have one. If you have many, that could be a different story. You have to select one, but here it's already there. So now let's associate the two, the IP address and the VM. Click on the associate button. Okay. Your IP should be different from mine. Okay. Where's mine? Oh, why mine doesn't show up? Let me refresh it. Interesting. I think it's, oh. By the way, we are running out of the IPv4 public IPs. So sometimes it's very tight to get one. Just like our Beluga cloud, mostly the free infrastructure is ready, but they don't have enough IPv4 IPs. So they have to wait for the allocation, or they'll find a different way. Just maybe use IPv6. Yeah. Okay, now I get my public IP. That's a very good thing. Okay. Now I try to access it by using this IP. Now we have to we need to open the terminal. Or for Windows users, you need to use a PuTTY or some other things like mobile Xterm. Yeah. Here I try to show, maybe I should show my whole computer instead of switching between them. Desktop 1, maybe, so for me. I shouldn't have any secret not to be able to show, okay. You see my whole screen, right? Okay. Now I have the terminal that is built in the Mac OS. Okay. Here, if I want to access my VM, I use the SSH, and then the IP address I just got.
Sorry, I have a question. I couldn't get that floating IP address. It tells me there is no floating IP address.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah,
it's
so
run out.
yeah.
Okay, can you click on the, let me see.
I'm office key for the name of the key is office key. So when I click on the
okay, this
associate flow.
Let me try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we click on this button, this arrow, oh no. Okay, let's see. Allocate one again. Okay, you get this one, 94.48. That's associate. Let's see if we get a lock. Yeah, now you get it, right? Can you see it?
So maybe I need to refresh the page. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Hot.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now please open your terminal, just like what I'm doing. Use SSH, type SSH, then the IP address. Yeah. If you click on, you press the enter button or return button on the macOS, you shouldn't be able to access it yet because there are some other options we have to do. You can give it a try, but it shouldn't work. Okay. Now we have to tell the terminal user what kind of user account to access it. If the name is the same, you're lucky. But if it's not, it shouldn't be the same because you haven't created, sorry, yeah. I can tell you if, because I choose the CentOS one, so the username should be CentOS. Okay, let me make it a complete option this way. So you give a -L and then a username, CentOS or Ubuntu, all lowercase, or Fedora or Debian, or lowercase. If, for example, if you're using Ubuntu, just type Ubuntu or Fedora or Debian. Yeah, I believe Debian should be this way. Yeah, okay. Here mine is CentOS. Okay. Here, it looks better, but you still cannot able to access it because there's something else we need to do. We need to specify the key, the product key that we created to access to access the VM. Mine is called MacBook Pro.priv. You just give it the name of yours and give it the path if it's not in the current directory. Path to something, yeah. Either, I don't know, yeah, a different machine have maybe different path. You have to specify the path here because mine it's already just here. I just put the name. Okay. If this step is done, normally you should be able to access it, but there's even one more thing we haven't done yet. I hope everybody is okay on this step, but if there's any questions, please let me know. Going.
Hey, Armin, I'm
Oh,
using
go ahead.
Windows, and do you mind give some instructions how I can use the PuTTY to?
Okay, I'll try my best.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a very good one. For Windows, for using PuTTY, you'd better. Here, I have a instruction web page for the whole steps. Let me find out where it is. Yeah, here. I searched the web yesterday and I learned by myself. Access your VM instance using PuTTY when on Windows. Okay. Like in the table of contents, first you add a SSH key to a VM or SSH key pair to a VM instance. You generate a key pair and import existing. There's two options, two different options. Yeah, so I can introduce this one later. Then you have you download and install PuTTY, then connect to your VM instance using PuTTY. Let's click on this one. Oh, I should show you the web page. Yeah. For Windows users who are using PuTTY, I also heard that for the version higher than Windows 10, you just enable the SSH from your desktop, and yeah, then it should be the same way as we are doing on Linux or macOS. Okay.
Sorry, can we use Windows PowerShell too? I'm using Windows PowerShell. I followed the instruction you sent in the email. So is it okay?
Use Windows, sorry, what?
Windows PowerShell?
Oh, PowerShell, yeah, you can
Yeah?
definitely, you can use
Instead
it.
of PuTTY? Okay, good.
Right, yeah.
Good, thanks.
Yeah, sorry, I should have, I'm not so sure if in my, the links I showed, there should mentioned something like a PowerShell. Yeah. Yeah, definitely you can use PowerShell. It's much easier. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, for PuTTY users, you can connect, click on this button, connect to your VM instance using PuTTY. First, you find your floating IP on the dashboard, and then you have to convert your product key to PuTTY format. It's called a .ppk format. Use PuTTYGen. Yeah, you may have to download this one. And then click on the load button on the PuTTYGen and choose maybe ISA or whatever you want here. And then select the file. By the way, yeah, it's a .pm format. What we just did is in the .pm format. So you have to convert it to PPK for, I mean, just for the PuTTY users on Windows. Yeah, you convert it, and then you save it. You save the private key. Then you should be good. You should be able to access it using PuTTY. So does this look good?
And just remember, if you're using Windows 10 or the PowerShell, you won't need to use, there's no need for you to use PuTTY at all. So
Yeah.
that's another consideration. If PuTTY's not working for you, you might want to move on to one of those other methods.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we are just doing the old school thing. Yeah. I'm not so familiar with the updates of Windows. Yeah. But whatever, let me just quickly go through the PuTTY option. Run execute the PuTTY.exe file or yeah, file. Yeah. Then you can browse your key. Just click on the browse button. It's on connection SSH, then auth. Then you locate your key that you created or copy pasted from the dashboard. Then open it. Then go back to the session interface. Then put the username like CentOS, Fedora, Ubuntu, etc. Then give it an @ then the floating IP address. Port is 22 and SSH type connection. That's default, I believe. Then click on open. Then you should be good to access it. Yeah, ignore the warning message. Okay. Yeah, if there's any difficulty in using PuTTY to connect to your VM, just let me know offline later, or ask my my coworkers. I don't know if you can do a breaker. What's that? Break room? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's see. As I said, if everything is okay now, we can click on the enter button or return button on macOS. But you should say, oh, why mine already works? Oh, because I have the security rule already set up. But for you, may not be. Let me see. Maybe you have already set up too. No, may not be true. This may not be true. Let's just randomly choose one. Let's see. If you click on your VM name, you can see the details of your VM. We can see in the security group option area, you can see you only get a default security rule. This is not sufficient for accessing your VM. Let's compare to mine. It's a little bit slow. Okay. This is mine. You can see the difference. Why I can access it, but maybe you cannot. Here's the difference. I have a SSH one that allows me to access my 22 TCP port from any machine in the world. Yeah, so that's why I could access. So what you need to do is to create a security rule. Just click on the network button, then security group.
Sorry, Erming, let's just let me add this. So basically what happened is that there is a firewall that's preventing your newly created cloud or VM from seeing the outside world.
Right.
So what Erming's trying to do here is trying to punch a hole in the firewall for SSH to communicate.
Yeah, or punch more hosts for more services to be exposed. Just like a web service, we use a port 80. Like the what's that database? It's a 3306. Yeah, and you can limit it to a certain machine, not just to the whole world. Yeah, because there are so many hackers in the world. Yeah. So here you click on the security group option, then you click on the create a security group. That's the same thing, okay, but different button. Okay, you give the name, like I give it SSH. You can give whatever you want, like what you mean, randomly, just okay, ABC. Let's see, or 22. Like I don't know if you can start with a number. Okay, just SSH 22 maybe. Then create a security group. I can create as many as I want, but normally there's a limit in creating the project, limit of numbers of security rules. So yeah, don't make too many. You can make as many as possible in one rule. Yeah. Okay. I created a rule, but I did nothing. Maybe that's wrong. Oh, I should add a rule. Yeah. Here in the rule, you click on the add a rule button. You will see this dialog, and in default it's a TCP because TCP is commonly used. You can also click on UDP or ICMP. I will show this later because we need ICMP. Okay. TCP here I'll make this smaller so you will show the whole picture. So you just specify the port number, like SSH is using 22 for the connection. So give it 22. And CIDR means which host IP address you want to expose to. Here for the SSH, it's okay to use 0.0.0/0. That means every host, any host, because it's okay to do it for the SSH 22 port, because maybe sometimes you travel to another country, you still want to access to your machine. So yeah, you just use this. Any water accessible CIDR. But for some specific case, like a web service or some other, like a database, you may want to limit to your IP address, let's say, run just randomly. Yeah. Or give it a range, like /24 or 23, something. Okay. Okay, if we have created the rule, then maybe I should create one so to demonstrate. Let's see, SH 22 or new one to differentiate from the one I just created. Okay, let's click on add. There will be a rule to add for you. And at the same time, for our communities, I also want to add one ICMP rule. That's for pinning your machine. Sometimes you don't want to access it. You just want to see if it's alive. You just pin it. To pin it, you also need give the security rule. Otherwise, it's not pinnable. So here you just type for simplicity, you just type of -1 here, and to leave it as is, the rest options, then add. Don't worry if I go too faster here, because that's just the default option we use. So it's safe here. You just follow my steps. Okay, now you get the TCP/22 and the ICMP exposed to the whole world. Now go back to your instance. Where's my instance here? Okay, click on the drop-down menu, and there should be one called Edit Security Groups. Click on it. Okay, now mine is called SH22 or new. What is? Oh, mine is lost. I created the code SH22, whatever. Okay, assuming this one is mine, SH22. But what's my? Let me try again. Weird. Okay, let's see here. I just add the SSH-22 to it and save. Okay, now it should be added to the VM already. Let's see the difference here. Yeah, right. See, SSH22 security group has a few rules. The major ones are TCP/22 and ICMP. Now let's go back to the terminal. Let me exit first. Okay, if you type in this way, now then enter, you should be able to access to it. Or let's verify if the pin works or not, because I just added. Yeah, see, it works. There's a response from the machine and causes different times latency. Okay. Any questions so far? Any issues when you're accessing your VM?
Try putting a green check mark if you've logged in.
Yeah.
And a red check mark if you can't, if you haven't been able to log in. No, red X.
Oh, Gonzalo, if connection time logged, okay. Do you get your SSH? No, the security rule added to the VM, or you can add anyone who just created. I just the SSH2. I just created.
Right. So to add SSH-22 to the VM, you have to go to the instances, select your instance, and then go apply it. Ermin, can you demo again?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, this tool always blocks my screen. I got a little. I should have got a more bigger one. Okay. Here, this is my instance. And
so you have to select your instance.
Right. This one is mine. On the right hand, I click on the down arrow and scroll it. And then you can see edit security groups. Click on this. And then To the left, you can see all security groups created. To the right one, it's already associated to your VM. What you do is, you want to do is just to add the one you just created to the one, to the right, the right side. For example, I can choose the ASOS security group one to mine. You can choose the SSH22 I just created.
Yeah, I choose SSH/22 and it worked. I guess my security group was created incorrectly, but now I can access to the virtual machine. It says login as, so it doesn't show the error
anymore.
Yeah, I'm on.
Good, very good, thanks. Any other questions, issues?
I don't see very many green check marks, so if anybody else is having issues, please speak up.
Yes, I'm having issues doing the connections. So I create a security group and I'm doing this using PowerShell. I think that I'm giving the correct spelling for this. So I'm not totally sure if my error is in the connection or is because I'm dealing with Windows. So
what kind of error message if you have seen?
I will copy that. I will paste that to the chat to give you an idea.
Okay, sounds very good.
This is the error message that I have.
Okay.
I give it the path of where I save the key.
The term SSH is not recognized. Oh, you don't have a SSH?
That means that I need to change again the SSH. If I take a look to I will give you a screenshot.
So are you using Windows?
Yeah, I'm using Windows.
Windows 7?
10.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm surprised SSH is not recognized.
Yeah, so if you just type in SSH, just type in SSH. Do you see anything there?
Yeah, it says that it's not recognized at all. Which is interesting because yesterday I was using that in the other session that we had.
Maybe start up a new command window or PowerShell window or whatever it is that you're using. Could be that something got set funny in the window that you're using.
Okay, I will try it again. So.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is your Windows specific issue, not the cloud issue. We may give you a hand later, just specifically. So now, let me ask again, anybody else has any issues in the connecting your VM?
Has anybody else not logged in to the VM?
What format should the key file be saved for Ubuntu? What format? As I said, the extension doesn't matter. Or get permission denied and the invalid format errors. Saved in gedit. Or maybe the gedit then adds some invisible character to it. I'm not so familiar with the gedit, but if you can
possible that you missed some characters while pasting it into your.
Indeed, it doesn't matter an extension, you have one extension or not, or you give any extension. As long as the content is correct. I can show you mine to see, you can compare it to it. Cat, my MacBook power key. You can see it's in this way. It starts from I'll make it smaller. Starts from this dash lines, then begin ISA product key, then dash lines, then quite a bunch of characters, ends with dash line and the ISA product key dash lines. Okay, changing my permission. Indeed, you don't edit it. You just make sure it's correct in the correct format. No invisible characters added. I'm not so sure which kind of a. Yeah, right. Gedit sometimes, or word add something to it.
Yep.
Okay. Just use the simplest editor to edit this kind of key stuff. Sometimes if just for example, if we copy a public key to, I'll use nano. Okay, good, thanks. Yeah, sometimes even in the email, if we copy our public key for others, there could be something like a line break added to it. Yeah. Okay. Now we can go ahead. Try to do something more. We only got 70 minutes left, so I'll be quicker. Yeah. If you can click on the down arrow again, you will see many other options. Here, I don't want to demonstrate one by one. Just want to let you know some ones that are important. For example, we can attach a VM volume to a VM, or then later, if we don't want it, we can detach it. And we can also suspend a VM, and then if we don't want to use it for now, later we can resume it. Or some ones even advanced option like a shelf instance, and then get it back later. Don't be confused by shelf or suspend. Suspend means on the same host. You don't want to use it. You just suspend it. You want to get back later. Shelf means basically means shut down. You shut this machine down remotely, and later if you want to recover it, it's called unshelf. If you unshelf it, either may be moved to another host that is that has available resource. Yeah, that's the biggest difference between the two. Okay, and sometimes if there's some issues on your instance, you can just reboot it, just like a reboot your laptop or desktop. Yeah. There's a software reboot or hard reboot. Hard reboot will be doing something more. Yeah. If some issues it doesn't work with the software reboot, you can try with a hard reboot. You can shut off an instance or delete one. Yeah, as somebody already tried. Okay. Next, I want to show you how to create a volume. That's another very important step. If you can click on the volumes option, now I don't have any volume. Let's create one. Let's give it a name, volume, for whatever, for maybe let's see, research data. Maybe that's a terrible name, but whatever.
So just to break in here, what Irving is doing here is currently we have our virtual machine that is in the cloud, and it has an ephemeral, which means it goes away when it shuts down, hard drive. So if you want storage, hard disk storage, or a volume that lasts longer than that persists after it is shut down, you need to create a volume.
Okay, as I said, a volume will be persistent. Even your VM is destroyed, sorry, you will still see the volume. Yeah, so your data is better to be put on the volume. You'll be attached to the VM. Okay. Here we'll give it a name and maybe some description and volume source. Doesn't matter. You just put a no empty volume. Okay. Default, unless you know these options very clearly, you just use default. For OS or database, if it's for example, if it's the database type resource or data, you want better performance, you can select this one. Otherwise, just default. Give the size. Let's see, 10 or 100 or 1 terabyte. Yeah, the bigger it is, the slower it takes. The more time it takes to create. Okay. Here just any availability zone and group, no group. Don't worry about this. Just create one.
Armin,
Yeah, go ahead.
I just have a quick question. For the size, is that okay to be a floating number? I mean, 0.1 digital number, or it has to be integer?
That's a very good question. I never tried 0.1, but I don't think it works because it should be integers. But you can try. You can try.
Okay, I'll try.
Wrong.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, now we can see that the volume is created. We can edit the volume or click on the down arrow. There are some other options. Here we can manage attachments. That's the way you attach the volume to an instance or a VM. Yeah, here you can see so many ones. Where's mine? I guess this one is mine. Assuming this one is mine. You can see judge it from the ID. Sometimes the name could be the same, but the ID will be unique in the world. So, okay, let's attach it to it. Okay, this has attached to it. Let's go back to the instance. Where's mine? Yeah, sorry, I should have, in this course, I should have named it, suggest you guys name it with your name here. Just in this, because there's so many VMs altogether, it's hard to identify. Okay, let's see. On this VM, if we can see it. Volume here. Yeah, volume attached, it says attached to, it's the volume on this partition. Now we can go to the terminal. I can reconnect to the machine, the VM I just created. By the way, once you log in, you can use a sudo to, because this is your machine, you can do whatever you want. You can sudo to root. Root means you have all the power. You can do everything. Yeah. Just look at what I did. Sudo su. Yeah, you can see now. You can see df. You can df -h. It's a home readable. Where is the partition or volume we just created? No, it's not here. Now I can use fdisk -l. We can see this is the partition information /duv/vda. It's the root disk, and then /duv/vdb is the volume I just created. So now I want to monitor to the VM so I can use it. Just if I mount now, it won't work. Here we go, VDB. you cannot even find it, I believe. Oh, I can find it, but it won't work. Let's see. I need to make a dir, like mount data. Let's say researcher data. I just give a name like this way. Researcher data. Okay, now let's try to mount it. /dv /vdb, then mount to this. It says VDB is write protected. It's a read only, cannot mount it. It's an unknown file system. I have to make a file system for it. Let's see, fs, make fs.fs /dv/vdb. Let's do it. Now it has a file system. Let's try it again. Mount it. Here we go. You see nothing, that means good. No issue means good news. No news means good news, okay. df again, let's see. There we go, it's there. See, now we can do whatever we want here. Let's see, we will touch your file on the just mount it volume. Let's say anything here. I touch anything. Then we can see anything here. Anything. Yeah, you can see it's there. Any questions so far? Is it too fast?
Oh, sorry. What Irving did here is the same thing as if you had a computer and you added a new disk.
Yeah, right.
So when we added the volume, then after that, what we have to do is we have to format the disk, just like you would do if you added a disk to your Windows machine. That was with the makefs. And then you have to mount it just like, what's it called? You mount your disk in Windows. For instance, if you put in a CD into a CD drive, put it in, you would have to mount it, and then you could actually see what is in on that CD. That's the same thing with the two steps we've done here.
Yeah. I just showed you how to allocate yourself some space, disk space or storage space, then how to use it on your VM. Yeah. Okay, let's see what else is important to know in this session. Networks, you don't worry too much, because if you, as long as you choose you don't have to choose, it's already, you should show up already for the public and private networks. And the router, it's also done in default. And we already covered the floating IP and the security groups, so should be good. Identity, project. Oh yeah, this is for tomorrow. Tomorrow we will be using this part, so don't worry about this for now. I think I have gone through most of the important stuff for beginners. If you have any questions about any advanced operations, feel free to contact me or my colleagues. We can discuss offline specifically. Yeah. Otherwise, any other issues, questions, comments? Yeah, sorry, I thought I have we may have some time to go through the AWS operation, but looks time is running out soon today. Yeah, there are quite a few details in operating the dashboard and get connected to your VM. I hope I get a chance future if you're interested in operate the commercial cloud. Yeah, but basically it's the same idea. Oh, here I can show you. If you want to try it out by yourself, the commercial clouds, you just I can show this slide deck to you guys later. There are some such thing called a free tier resource for each kind of a commercial cloud. For example, AWS, it's this link, and GCP and Azure. Those are free resource for you to try out. Yeah, you can try to create a VM and then use some other services. Yeah, it's basically the same thing in nature. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what I want to demonstrate today. Again, any issues, questions, comments?
Hello, Armin. Do you mind
Yeah.
show your terminals once again? Since I kind of didn't follow you very well.
Oh, my terminal?
Terminals, yeah. Thank
Okay,
you.
you're welcome. Which part do you want to see? Is this okay? Or you want to scroll up?
Yeah, this part is fine. I just completed the touch command, and for the left, I haven't completed.
Okay. I can show you from F-disk part.
Yeah. By the way, I have a question about this temporary guest account. We can only use this account today, or it's valid for several days?
I think you can use it until the weekend. Yeah, just
Okay.
as a courtesy for you guys to try out the things. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe on Monday, before Monday, I will just terminate all of those accounts. But you can feel free to try things out this week and maybe the weekend. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're going to want to use the cloud later, the Compute Canada cloud, if you have a Compute Canada account, you just have to send an email requesting access to the cloud. And then you could use your Compute Canada account to do this.
Oh yeah, there are some other some videos. Yeah, thank you. Do I have the links? Yeah, on GitHub, I showed some videos that was done by my other co-workers in the Cloud National team. Yeah, you can see here, I repasted here. Sorry, maybe make it more accurate. In the Cloud Bootcamp GitHub, you can see the resource. And for today's session, I just put 2 links. First one is down in the Westgrid training. It also shows you how to launch your VM and connect it from different machines like Linux or Windows. And the other one is my colleague John Simpson did a while ago, similar to what I did. Yeah, you may find it useful, but some information may be old. Yeah, yeah, and what he was demonstrating is on the older version OpenStack, may be different from what I showed today. Yeah. Okay.
May I ask one more question? I know
Go ahead,
I've
please.
asked a lot. Yeah,
okay.
it just it's not very clear to me when after we have created new volumes and we have to do something in the terminals. Could you explain that again?
Yeah, if you create your volume, have you mounted?
Yeah, I have finished. mounting.
You have mounted. Okay, you
Yeah.
get okay. That means you have a file system on it. Okay. That means you can just add any file to it, or add any folders to it. Let's see if I mounted here. Just like you use a disk, use a hard drive on your Windows machine. You're using Windows, right?
Yeah,
Just
I'm
like
using Windows.
yeah, drive C or drive D. You can put whatever, like videos, files, images, pictures, whatever you want here, or research data. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Okay, so after we have created volumes, we just mounted some data into that state. Is that correct?
You mount it as a partition in Linux or as a hard drive in Windows, on Windows, just like a disk. Yeah. Then you add whatever you wanted there.
Okay,
So just like if,
Just
sorry,
like
just like if you had,
you buy a USB disk, then you store anything you want. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after creating volumes, I have to mount these volumes into the
Right.
project. Is that correct?
Yeah. Mount means you attach to your machine, just like you insert the USB key USB to your laptop or other computers.
Okay, then
Right.
I
Yeah.
see. So after I have mounted the volume, I can put any files into that volume.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, that's clear now.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you
a
so
good
much.
one. Good one. Yeah, sometimes the terminology sounds weird. Yeah, volumes, disks, hard drives. Yeah, basically they're the same thing. Sometimes it's confusing for the different terminologies. Yeah.
Yeah, they have different terminologies to mean
Right.
different sections on your computer. For me, yeah, they're just different sections, but I don't
Right.
know
Yeah.
the differences between.
That's a
Okay,
good point.
thank you very much, Ermin. That's very informative, and yeah, I really learned a lot. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah. Any other questions?
Oh, before I leave the session, I want to know how can I exit from the cloud virtual machine?
Oh yeah,
Just
right.
exit is fine.
You can exit, but you have yet to terminate this then. I didn't see this because maybe I think you guys want to try it out later, try some other stuff. If you want to terminate or delete a machine, you can just click on the right side down arrow button. You can just at the bottom, you can delete the instance.
Okay, I mean, for the terminals, if I don't want to visit this virtual machine for a
Just
while,
exit.
just exit is fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to exit and also leave this meeting as well. Thank you very much for today's session.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Have a
good day.
Yeah.
Bye.
Any other questions, comments from the rest of the users? All good? Thank you. Nice. Yeah, see you in the next session. Jagos, do you have any difficulty or any questions?
I'm good. Thanks, Erming. I'm logging off.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers.
Have a nice day. Yeah, maybe we'll see you in the next session too.
See you in the next one. Yeah.
Okay.